What does soft life means to you? Are you living it or still fighting to deserve it?
Because
Yeah.
when I read that question, of course, the first thing I did too is go to Chat GPT, and I'm like, "Am I living the soft life?" And it laughed at me, and it said, "No," and I'm like, "Uh oh." So then it
Yep.
explained what soft life was, and I was like, "Oh gosh, that sounds glorious."
Yeah.
And
Wait, I'm here with my friends. I'm so happy to have you here, guys. So we're gonna start with a fun topic. I was chatting to my friend, Chat, my best friend. I wanted like a trending topic because, guys, I don't know anything about trends,
Me
and
neither.
it, and so I wanted a trendy topic that can link with all of us, right? And so I'll put it here. So the topic is, this is big on social media actually right now. Everybody is chasing soft life. I had no idea what soft life was. But what does it mean for women over the 50 or even younger, right? Because soft life today, if you're in your 30s, in your 40, no one want to, struggle so hard in life. We're trying to have a soft life. What I understand by soft life, right? So but a lot of us Gen Xers, we were raised to hustle and sacrifice. And
Mhm.
even generally, women are raised to sacrifice themselves over everyone. We're looking after everybody, right?
You say soft life means, not struggling. All
Yeah,
right.
Hustle, slowing down
yeah.
the hustle and stop sacrificing yourself for others. And I this is very near and dear to me because I shared with you what just happened on my recent vacation.
Yeah.
I was laid off at 55. And prior to that, I want to say probably by the time I was maybe like 48 or something, I realized the life I had built for myself wasn't the life that I wanted. I hustled, I hustled, I hustled. I was now a VP at a healthcare organization. I thought that's what I wanted till I got there, and then I realized I sacrificed so much and felt so empty still inside. And
Mhm.
I started to really start to question, what the heck am I doing here? I'm not really helping anybody. I don't feel like I have a purpose. My purpose is to come to work every single day and just make this company money. I'm not helping anybody in any way. I'm not helping myself in any way. Oh, and by the way, I haven't seen my family in a year.
Yeah.
Because I'm just work, 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 work. And my sister called that out. She goes, every time I turn around, you're canceling plans because you got to work, or you got this or you got that. And I think as we get older, we start to really realize it's probably a bad word, the brainwashing that we had
Mhm.
of the only way you're going to make it in this life is if you hustle, if you sacrifice, if you give up, and then later on in life you will reap the benefits, that you'll be able to finally slow down.
Mhm.
And I think the very first time that I hired a millennial, and other people in the group were like, that person's lazy, they don't want to work. Nope, they had just figured it out.
Yeah.
They had just figured it out, that life wasn't meant to sacrifice, to give to a company or an organization. I still need to live. I still need to enjoy. I still need to be me. And I think for the maybe the first year that I had this person, I also thought the same thing. Is like, I can't motivate this person to do what everybody else is doing, but that's because they were raised in a different generation.
Yeah. Hey, Dawn.
Hi, Don.
hi,
Welcome. We just started with the first question.
do you know that I have never heard that term before I read your questions this morning?
Yeah.
Was it
I
was
just
it was
did
it
you
like
Google
that
it?
for anyone else?
I'd heard it 2
This is
weeks
the
ago.
first time. No, I only now heard about it.
I didn't know about it then either. I was like, I went on ChatGPT and I'm like, I need a trending topic that can bring all of us together. So and it's like, okay, it's big on social media right now, soft life. And one person came on my one of my live one time, and she's like, soft life. It's when I went camping with my daughter and I did a small live. And I'm like, yes, soft life. What I understood is
That's
like,
where I heard it.
Yeah.
I knew I heard it somewhere because I'd only heard it
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yes, it was on my live, and I was like, oh, soft life. So I thought, yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So in general,
Yeah,
just Dawn, it's everything that we're going through. It's
yeah,
that kind of like when I think about it, it's like you started your business and you're still taking care of your mom and you're still taking care of other
yes,
people and you're starting trying to YouTube. It's all this go 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 hustle 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 and never any time to really slow down and really take care of
of
ourselves.
So
yourself,
that's
exactly.
like not the soft life,
Yeah,
right?
that's not the soft
Yes,
life.
yes, exactly, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
But I'll tell you, it's I'm getting ready to change my channel over to I have not been active at all. But I'm getting ready to change my channel over to women with a pause for premenopause, postmenopause, uh,
Mm,
anything. So Gen
Oh,
X kind of in a
good.
different light kind of
Hmm.
thing, because
Mhm.
pretty much that's where we're all at.
I
Hmm.
like
Um,
that.
but so really started thinking about this question, and I was like, it's not where I'm at right now, but it really should be something that I think about on a daily basis and work towards at least taking some part of my day and letting it be soft, because when I get to into bed at night and just crash, there is, I go from 100 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour. And when I
Mm,
read this question and I read the definition of it, I was like, I need to start fitting this soft part into my life.
I
Hmm.
And,
love
I
that.
don't know if that was what your goal was here in talking about it.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
actually love that you shared this,
Hmm.
because if that question alone pushed you to question how, you could soften your life, this is just amazing. This is what the question is about, right? And I'll come to you, Kim, last, because I want to understand. Kim is younger than all of us because we are Gen
Mhm.
Xers. Kim is a little bit younger. I've seen my daughter living soft life very early. Like my
I
daughter's
think
20.
I got it, but I'm itching to answer. I just can't wait to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, no, no. I'll come to you last because my youngest daughter like quit her job. Like she was earning here 30,000 in the UK. It's a lot of money.
It's
And she's like, I'm sorry, they take too much of my time. I want to have time to do my music and do what I want to do. And I see that with my youngest daughter as well. She
Hmm.
just quit a job that were paying her very well to look for something where she has a life work balance. The new
mhm,
generation aren't about, we as I think, let me put that back here. We as Gen Xers, we've been taught, I think, to hustle a lot. We're doing way too much. We're
Hmm.
wearing ourselves so thin. We don't have time to do. Self care is something that it's new today for me. I didn't know about that. I didn't know I was even allowed. I had permission. I felt guilty the first time I wanted to do something for myself and
Hmm.
travel for me, spend my hard-earned money for me. I was like, oh my God, but the family need that, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's been ingrained in us. I mean, even from like TV. Like, we didn't have social
yes,
media, but we had television. And I
yeah.
still remember growing up as a child coming home from school, and this commercial will never leave me, and it's a perfume commercial. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget you're a man because I'm a woman. Wait,
What?
so a woman has to do
Anjali.
everything? She gets to go to
Wow.
work.
Yeah.
She gets to come home and take care of the house. Oh, and she got to make sure the man is happy. And they made
Mm,
it seem like that was glamorous, and that's what we should be striving
mhm,
for.
mhm.
yeah. Exactly. Betty, what's your take on that? On soft life?
I get the feeling that my take on that is probably kind of different from everybody's. As far as talking about hustling and sacrificing, I think it has less to do with the amount of effort and work we're putting into something and more about what our goal is. And just personally, see, I think the problem comes when we're hustling and sacrificing for somebody else's priority and not our own.
Mhm.
because I know that all of you guys, all of you, if you're passionate about something, passionate, you're going to go for it with everything you've got. And you don't see it as such a hustle and a sacrifice, even if you're working just as hard as you would be for something else that you would say that's a sacrifice. And I think that's where all the difference is, because I think soft, and I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing like my grandmother-in-law when we used to visit my husband's husband's grandparents down in Florida in this retirement community with only retired people, and it was so slow and so soft. And it's like I'm thinking, do I really want to spend the end of my life in this slow thing, And I thought, no, the end of my life, what I'm aiming for is, and Jazz, I know you just to get this, Jazz, that traveling is the thing. And I see the rest of my life as being traveling and kind of a hustle, but a hustle for what I'm passionate for. And that, to me, that makes all the difference, that I don't want to slow down. I just want to, okay, if we're on a train, I just want to get on a different track. I want to get on my track. I want to get on the track that's going to end up where I want to go.
Yeah, I think that's where the misnomer is about slow. And I think the hustle was more for you're hustling and you're beating yourself down. You're working 14, 16 hours a day. And even if it's something that you like, you're still not taking the time to slow down and have a cup of tea. I don't think it means I don't think it means the old saying of retirement home, go into a retirement community and just sit there and watch the grass grow. I think it just means, you got to have time for your interests. And like your Jazz or your daughter saying, I don't have time to do my music. I don't have time to travel. I don't have time to do this. That's what I take as the soft living. It's those soft things that may not make you money, but they make you happy. And they bring purpose and meaning to your life versus going somewhere to try to make a paycheck and being, the movie Office Space. I just love that the boss who has no clue. And it's like, just repeating over and over again. Did you do the TPS reports? Did you do the TPS reports? And we got to realize what's really important to us. And I think that's where hiring my first millennial, not understanding how they grew up and seeing it as, these kids got no drive. And then maybe 2-3 years later, when I hit 50 going, no, I've had too much drive for the wrong things. I need to be more like them and have the drive for the right things.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Kim.
The floor is yours.
Yes. Tell us. What do you think?
Boy. Okay, so soft life. How I grew up. So I was born in the 80s. So I grew up in the 90s. So I'm a 90s child. I grew up with everybody around me working hard. That's the only way you could make money. Just go work hard, work hard. When I started working, I used to be the person that would do all the overtime, and I would do all the extra babysitting, and and I'm getting like a few hours sleep, and then until I started to get down the path of self-development and hearing the people that I was following about finding out your passion so that you can do what you love, so it doesn't feel like work. That you're doing something for yourself and not other people around you, not for your boss, not doing a job you hate, not something that is going to like literally, like, well, for Vicky, have you at work 24/7 and no time for family. But you got to do something that is going to, that you find that feeds your soul. So for me, 2019, 29, no, when was COVID? 2020? COVID was 2020. Yes. So 2020, January 2020, I decided to find out what my passion was, because I was in a job that it was surely not my passion. I was just there just to make money. Basically, right after I found out my passion, it was on around the 23rd, 25th of January of that year. It was bookkeeping. And then I went online and I tried to find a, bookkeeping course because I've never done it before. But I know I have accountants in my family, and it runs through the blood, as I learned afterwards. And I still had that because I got a job like the following year, working in accounting, and I was the only person in the office making sure that I had all the accounts up to date, and because it's just ingrained in me just to work hard, work hard, work hard. And thank God I changed my job. And I had an English white woman, English, I will never forget her because she was a blessing to my life. She not only taught me even more things, about accounting and stuff like that, but she also showed me, listen, when you get in here, um, don't care what time you get in here, you leave at 4:30. And every day when
Okay.
4 o'clock hit, she would say, Kim, for half an hour late, soon you're gonna leave. 5 more minutes, like literally. And that's how then I started to leave my work at work and go home now. And I had to like figure out, well, what am I going to do? And that's how I got into watching my Hallmark movies and stuff. So fast forward to now, where, as you guys know, I'm in the transition of like trying to move country. Um, I am right now, I must say that I'm living the best soft life ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
Because like I got to finally, I'm working with a bookkeeping company out of the US. I work on my own time. I choose my own however long I want to work, however short I want to work. I just have to meet the deadline. My boss, the owner of the company, she is amazing. And if she messaged me now and I'm like, well, I'm on a call or I'm out, she'll like, you don't have to do it now. Just whenever. And I think that's where like bosses and workplaces get it wrong, because if you only show your employees the respect that, they have to have a family life, they have to have time, to do the things that they want to do, then that person will not mind coming and making money with you, because obviously I'm doing what I love. I love bookkeeping and I'm damn good at it too. So I don't mind now. Like if my boss to ask me right now, like to do something, I don't be like, oh, like not right now. I'll literally drop what I'm doing if I can do it and do it, because there's no time that she'll ever say, oh, we have to meet on this day or we have to do this or I'm doing it this way. You have to follow it. And she's the owner. She's entitled to do whatever. And for me, I think that that's where like workplaces get it wrong, because we all grew up with you got to go to work, you got to work hard, and you got to grind hard, to so that you can be able to retire later. No, I want to retire now, in the sense of I want to do what I love, I want to make some money, and I still want to have my family life. Because doing what I love doesn't always entitle working. It doesn't always entitle, like maybe I might want to just watch a movie. Who says I don't want to just watch a movie and have my husband just next to me watching his phone because he doesn't watch movies, and just so he will shut up, I would just rub his foot or whatever. Hopefully he doesn't watch this. So we're not all our secrets. Um, but who says that that's what I want to do? Like right now, when I'm finished here, I'm going to binge watch some crime movies for the rest of the day because I'm done working. Although I have stuff to
But Kim, that's why I actually wanted to ask you last, because I don't know for you guys, ladies. I've only discovered the fire movement lately. I was already like close to my 50. I had no idea what it was. There's a lot of younger people, I think your generation, Kim, who
do.
decide that by 40, before 40, they will be retired. We didn't know that. I didn't know about fire movement. By the time I discovered it, I was well over 40, close to
Yes.
50. So, what I want to ask you guys to close on that topic is, do you think, are we finally giving ourselves permission to live a soft life, or are we still stuck in survival mode? That's very important because it's still a struggle. Even me, like going on my travels and etc., I have to hustle with, fight with my own soul. Like, how about my kids? My goodness, they're 27 and 22. I was
Mhm.
already married with kids. you know, you know, and my husband is a grown man. He can look after himself, but you still have that, you know, role that the society give to women. You have to be responsible for everyone. Like, they can't look after themselves, so you still struggling about that. But for me, my part, I've given myself permission to live a soft life. Like, the house can be a mess. Usually I will stress out, nobody's speaking. I'm like, I'm not your maid. I sent them a message recently, I'm not your maid. you know Pick up after yourself. I cannot be that person that will be. I want to have some time for me too. You know. So, what do you think?
I'm
Well,
living
for
it.
me, oh,
Go ahead, Kim.
I was going to say for me, I don't have that. I have a millennial or whatever you would call my generation, not sure.
Yeah,
My
millennials.
Laurent is like a year younger than me or something like that, year and 6 months or something like that. And he cooks. I have to cook now because I'm not in the same house as him, you know.
He cooks you. That's
He cooks,
amazing. Yeah.
he help. I'll clean, he'll clean, so I don't have this. When people see us and see how we operate, they can't understand it. It's like, why isn't she doing this or doing that? And really and truly, he looked at me the other day, and he was like, you know, we can't mind what people expect us to do. We know what works for us, and that's their business, whatever they think,
Mhm.
and it's true because obviously, I this is my second marriage, and even in my other one, well, I never used to do half the things I would have done for the one for him, but we're not getting into that right now. But even in that relationship, I refuse to step into the I'm picking up everything after you. Because I'm, like you say, I'm not nobody's maid. The same way I can do things, you can do
Mhm.
things too. I
Mhm.
look at a marriage as a partnership and not that. Because I find that if I get into that mode, I'll feel so low, and it's not that I'm downing people that do it, because there's some women that they love doing it. That's how they were raised. That's part of their culture. um I wasn't raised like, I can't even say raised. I kind of raised myself, so I didn't come up like that. I do things for me, and you do things for you. And yes, I'll help you, and yes, I'll be your partner. And obviously, if you're sick, I'll wipe your ass. Trust me. But at the same time, I can't do it when you're well.
Mhm.
That type of mindset is for me.
That's
Go on.
good.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
like it. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm struggling. I thought I was learning to slow down and learning to put myself first. And I went on vacation and slept for 3 days because I realized I hadn't done any of that in the last two
Hmm.
years. Um,
Yeah.
but it's a learning process. You got to unlearn a lot of the bad behaviors. And I'm listening to Kim talk about how when she was reaching out and following people and people telling her what this soft life was like when she was younger. Well, when we were younger, we were told about Stephen Covey, and we were told that, hey, when you have this glass full of boulders and you say you don't have enough time, no, we can put pebbles in there. See the pebbles
Yes.
fill in the cracks. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? You still think you don't have enough time? No, we can put sand in there and the sand
Yeah.
figures up. So you still have more time to do more stuff. Your glass still isn't full. So put water in it and it fills up the rest of the gaps. So we were just told that every time you think you don't have enough time to do something else, and we can prove to you that you do. We can just prove to you that you can
Hmm.
just keep going, going, and going. And so we had the different type of mentoring I want to than Kimberly got. And so I think that's why we need to look to the younger generations and see, you know what? It's okay to still want to be a kid because we
Hmm.
all growing up doesn't mean that life is joyless, that you're shackled to your desk and working on that laptop all day, being tethered by your work phone because they're calling you on a Sunday.
Hmm.
That's not what life is about. And I all I can say is I'm glad that my eyes are finally open, and I'm really glad that I lost the first 3 days of my vacation because I think it was a wake up call to myself that you got to
Mhm.
do better. You haven't done better and you got to do better.
You
Yeah.
haven't lost them. I'm
Hmm.
just rephrasing it. You didn't lost the three first days.
Right.
You actually, your body needed to sleep, your body
Hmm.
needed to recover. The body is an amazing machine forcing us to do what we don't recognize.
Yeah, it
And
stopped me from
you
hustling.
claim, yes, and you
Hmm.
claim those 3 days for your rest and your soft life. You just what your body needed. So, even
I
you saying I lost it because we feel like we have to be busy doing something.
And it's
hmm
sad
You know?
because in the moment I realized it was exactly what I needed. And just right now I said I lost it. And so that's the point that I'm trying to make is it's that we got to unlearn those bad behaviors.
True, true.
I think though for you, Vicky, you and Michael are so accustomed to just taking care of everybody around you. And so I had loved the fact that at least although you're taking care of everybody around you, that you chose to do that vacation, and I'm hoping and praying that that's something that you all just keep doing,
Mhm.
moving forward every year, because you all just,
He booked another
to me,
one.
y'all are like superhuman.
Yes. Yeah. Don't spoil. I'm having Vicky on my channel to talk to me about this trip, 30 years before going on the that was 30 years since your first
First
uh,
cruise.
cruise. That must have been amazing. And we're waiting. She's gonna do those videos, isn't it, on her channel? The first one was amazing. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes,
Oh my
I
goodness,
did.
I was waiting for it. I was walking. I'm like, pause. Like I need to watch that. Oh,
My friend says, okay, so I watched this video thinking it was going to be a vacation video. You still have me taking notes about life lessons.
yeah, but still, because we know
Yeah,
that's your channel, though. But I
yeah,
can still enjoy both. I know that's
I
what your
loved
channel
them.
is about. I did love it. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah,
And then when she did two, she did the second one. So I was like, where's the
yeah.
third one? Because I
The
didn't see
third
it
one's
come out. Did
coming.
it come out?
It's coming. It's coming. It's
So,
coming.
so
Yeah.
full disclosure, these are taking a little longer to do because my husband filmed all of my B-roll in 5K.
Yeah. 5K is huge. And when she was saying it, I thought it was 4K. 4K is already used. I can't imagine 5K.
Okay. Me
What it
either.
is. Yeah. So
It's a
Betty.
man thing.
Oh,
If
sorry.
if if if
It
something
is.
can do something better, he's going to do it better.
Mm-hmm.
I know my
Mm-hmm.
husband would do the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a man thing. They like gadgets, right? So they
Yes.
like
Yeah.
to, yeah. Yeah, Betty, your turn.
I
So,
was, I was just thinking about something though about all of this that first of all, in your question right there has the answer in it, because giving ourselves permission, you said that, and it's like nobody else in our life is going to give us permission, so we won't get
I
permission
love
to give to
that.
ourselves. And
Yeah.
I got to thinking because of that, um, what could have happened when we were young if we'd had somebody in our life that would help to guide us to our actual passion so that we could hustle with our own purpose? And we wouldn't have to spend how many years or decades or anything hustling for somebody else's purpose and figure out this isn't the way I want to go.
Mhm.
And because I mean, if you have your own purpose in that and it's something that you absolutely love, you can find somebody maybe in your 20s that can guide you into finding. I know none of us know who we are when I'm 20, right? But to help us, to guide us into that thing that can actually go well for the whole time that we're hustling in it,
Mhm.
and lead us into the right place at the end. Uh, and then my next thought was, well, maybe we didn't get it, but how could we be maybe that person for somebody else?
Mhm.
And I'm not talking just about you got your personality tests and your aptitudes and whatever initials you want to put on yourself for what kind of a person you are. It's a whole lot more than that. Just somebody that can actually help to guide somebody into a life that works for them, that might not make them piles of money, but that wouldn't burn them out at the same time.
Mhm.
And I'd love to be that person for somebody that's young. And maybe I'm moving towards that with my oldest grandchild, who's 21 and starting to really find the purpose for her life. She's
Okay.
Costa Rica right now looking, and it's so, I don't know what you guys think about that. What would it have been like to start on the right track and not burn ourselves out?
Yeah, it's the
Wow.
ultimate. If you can see her, you can be her. And we didn't see those people. We
Yeah.
didn't see it at all. And I think that's I I I got pulled into YouTube kicking and screaming. I did not want to do videos. I'm too shy for that. But now that I'm here, I realize I was meant to be here to be
Mm.
Yeah.
that person that I needed, like Kimberly
Yeah.
said. You know,
Yeah.
you know, even though my niche is, about, older people and making sure that as you age, but if you can see it, you can be it. And I want to be that for somebody else to say, hey, you know what? I understand my parents better. And
Hmm.
now I understand what happened to them. Here's how I can try to help prevent that from happening to me. And so, like you always say, Jazz, mean old mother-in-law, that's what I had. I told people, my mother-in-law just doesn't like me. She's just a mean old person. And then in 2023, when we figured out everything that was wrong and just about how long she had it, I had a nice long cry and realized I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And now that, we're in this different place, like I said, even though she didn't miss me when I was on vacation, she still gives me a big old hug every time she sees me, but not because she
Hmm.
missed me, but because now that things have changed, I am no longer her adversary. She now sees me as the person that's in her life to help her. Um, I wouldn't change that for the world, but I am going to learn how to dial back so that I can have that soft life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for me, I'm amazed of how the younger generation. I'm so proud of my girl from very early on, Betty, the question you ask. I see them having, and I'm so glad, a better life than I did. My
Mhm,
daughter, the eldest, goes on holiday all the time.
mhm,
She really take that time to do the things she loves doing. And that I find it amazing. Um, and also, I think by us doing the thing we want to do, you know it's also showing our the younger people, whether it's on YouTube, like we're sharing our lives and what we're doing. Okay, you just got on a cruise. Betty, you're living in Guatemala. This is something amazing for me. Not a lot of people leave their hometown and can decide to go live elsewhere.
mhm,
This is huge as well. Kim, you're moving. You're here, you're there, you are free with yourself and your time, and this is something that we didn't see before, and thanks to YouTube, to social media in general, we can see it's possible what we thought it was not. Yeah.
and we're
Yes.
seeing the real life too. I
Yes.
think when social media first started, we were seeing the Instagram perfect and everybody
Yeah.
trying to show that life was just perfect and not messy. And so starting to see, the mess, but how the
Yeah.
mess can
Yeah.
be beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just going to ask you guys to introduce yourself. Okay, I'm going to start with Betty.
And my channel is just thriving at any age. And I, I just have to say that this little group of people, and there's some more of us too, has been such a high point in my life, because that's part of thriving at any age. You got to have your tribe. You got to have the people around you that you love. But my passion and just the reason that I'm on here is because I've seen what YouTube has done for my personal development and leading me into finding what my passion is. And my passion is in fully living healthy and helping other people to do the same
Mhm.
thing at any age. I mean, you can't wait till you're old and then try to get everything back together again. But that's my passion. So, and I'm loving being with this group of people. You've got to see, that's the thing. Sometimes you get older and you start leaving everything behind. And I just know that you've got to pick up the right people on your path and hang on to them, because that's precious.
Exactly. I love that. I love what you shared here. Community is everything.
Hmm.
Because on YouTube, you can feel lonely. But my life is so rich with all of you guys, and being on YouTube is crazy. Yeah. So we're gonna continue with Vicky.
Um, so I'm Vicky, and my channel is Aging on Your Terms, mainly because I've seen what can happen when older people age and don't ask for help, don't plan for getting older, and my friends and I found ourselves, taking care of these people who didn't plan, didn't see themselves as getting older, didn't see themselves as needing any type of help. And my friends were starting to do the same thing. They complain that their parents didn't do it, but then they aren't doing anything to prepare themselves so that their kids would be stuck in the same boat as them. And when I got on YouTube, because my friends pushed me into doing video because they didn't want to read anymore, so they didn't want to read the blog. I noticed that the trend was more of, uh, I don't know, cognitive dissonance. It wasn't so much about trying to help people age. It was really more about putting the parent down. And,
Mm,
you know, you're taking care of your parents and you're beating yourself down, and why would you want to do that and put them in a home? And it was like, no, these things, we could take a different spin on this, because it doesn't have to be us against them.
yeah.
It, because we have to understand really what they're doing. So many people jump into my comments about, there's no way in the world I would have cleaned my parents' house, they can clean it themselves. Well, when dementia sets in or
Oh,
Alzheimer's sets in, they don't understand what they're doing. And so when people don't take the time to understand where the parents are coming from, yeah, you're going to get that type of messed up message. But when you have people on YouTube perpetuating that messed up message, and so I want to reverse that thinking.
wow. Yeah. I love that about your
Mhm.
channel. It's something that I told you I even want to take in my community because we don't understand dementia at all.
Yeah, I got
So
to learn how to
yeah.
speak French so that we can talk.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So we go to our youngest Gen Xers. Kimberly, tell us about you.
Whew, what should I tell today? Um, Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly. Wait, I only put my first name, Gibson.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you have your handle
oh,
underneath.
good.
Yeah.
So I'm Kimberly Gibson. My channel is my name. And for me, I basically share my past bad experiences online, but not to depress people, to help people that are going through the same things that I went through in the
Mhm,
past, people that are going through it now, to help
mhm,
them become the best version of themselves. Because
Mhm.
I wish that when I was going through my shit, sorry, I wish that when I was going through my stuff, that somebody was there to guide me, because
mhm,
I feel like if I had somebody kind of holding my hand going through things and
Mhm.
telling me, though I did this or I did that, and this is the way that helped me, and I tried their way and try instead of trial and error on my end, I would have become the woman that I am today faster.
yeah.
Like I always know that she was in me, but I didn't know how to get her out, and it took a lot of years
Yeah.
to get
That's what
me
I
where
like
I am
about your
today.
channel.
So, and I also, for my channel as well, that I talk a lot about manifesting, because I believe that faithing slash manifesting is really and truly what we live in every single day. And everybody wants a good life. That's why everybody watches, different channels for different things, because people just don't want to live in the mess that was given to them or that they just walked into just because they were born in it. Everybody wants a good life, but, and that's why we are on, we go watch other people's channels and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So for me, um, I lost my train of thought. See, this is why the talking. So for me, that's why, I do what I do, because I just wish I had me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah,
The straight talk
yeah.
on your
There's a
Yeah.
saying,
channel.
right? If you see her, you can be her. And
Yeah.
we didn't have a lot of seeing when we were growing up.
True. So
We didn't
true.
have
Mhm.
social media and easy access to see people who were like us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And coming back to Betty, Betty, your channel reminded me, and all the time when I watch you, that 50 is just the beginning.
Mhm. Yeah.
50 is just the beginning, and we can age gracefully. That's what you remind me every time I watch your video.
Mhm.
The positivity, the living life big, actually,
Mhm.
embracing life. And because so many of us will be there like, oh, I have this, I'm so, but it's my age, I should be like this and like that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, yeah. And you've spoke
Mhm.
about that on your channel as well. So yeah, no, it's true. I go to Kim because I'm like a drama queen. I always say I like I dramatize everything. Oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. And then I always have her in my head, like, stop that. Okay. You know, you can manifest what you want in your life. Speaks positively about you. So
Mhm.
we're gaining not only friendship, but looking at each other's channel, it brings a lot. That what you were saying,
Mhm.
Kim. We go into each other's channel, and each of you ladies brings something positive in my life. When I go to your channel, I beat myself all the time for my weight, right? Betty has shared so much about how it's instead of focusing on weight and etc., weight loss, how about focusing on eating healthy, on health?
Mhm.
You didn't even talk about eating healthy, you were saying health,
Mhm.
about your health. Focus on your health, and everything fall together, right? Because that's what you ultimately looking for.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you, ladies. It's such an honor to have you here.